My name is TJ Bridges, and this is my video on the 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham was born on February 12, 1809, in the town Hodgenville, Kentucky, along with his siblings, Thomas Lincoln Jr. and Sarah Lincoln Grisby. His parents were Thomas and Nancy Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had a rough childhood. His family moved around several times to places like Indiana and Illinois. To make it even worse, his mother died from milk disease. Milk disease is where someone eats meat or drinks milk from a cow that has eaten snake root plant. One thing you might not know about Abraham Lincoln is that he is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's only lost once out of winning 299 times. After a while, he was drafted into the Black Hawks War. The purpose of this war was to push the Indians westward. Soon he was appointed leader and led the soldiers to victory. After that, he started driving a riverboat and ran a small store. He then decided to become a blacksmith, but for some reason instead he chose to study law. Fortunately, he started his own law firm. Unfortunately, he wasn't that good at law. He lost many cases during that time. Later on, he meets and marries a woman named Mary Todd Lincoln on November 4th, 1842. He decided to go bigger in law, but sadly he didn't have much luck in the beginning. He tried it for the Republican Party's vice presidential nominee and was completely ignored. He also ran against Stephen Douglas for Senate and lost again. But finally, he ran for president in 1860 and won. He was then known as the 16th President of the United States. He did a lot of good during his presidency. He was mostly remembered for leading and preserving the Union during the Civil War. The Civil War was when the North and the South became two separate powers and fought to abolish slavery. This was known as the bloodiest war known to man. There were as many as 600,000 fatalities during the war. To free most slaves, Abraham Lincoln passed the Emancipation Proclamation. This freed all the slaves in the territory Abe controlled. Finally, on April 1865, the North won the Civil War. Soon after, Abe presented his famous speech, the Gettysburg Address. The Gettysburg Address was a tribute to a cemetery to all the fallen soldiers in the Civil War. Now that the war was over, it was time to end slavery once and for all. He then passed the 13th Amendment, which stated, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the parties shall have duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subjected to their jurisdiction." So what was Lincoln to do after the Civil War? Punish the South over their victory? No. Lincoln saw the nation was in horrible condition. Most of the country was destroyed in the war. He gave a speech talking about bringing peace and rebuilding all the destroyed homes between the North and the South, called the Last Public Address. Sadly, Lincoln didn't live long after the Civil War. He was killed in Ford's Theater in the presidential section and was shot by none other than John Wilkes Booth. Abraham Lincoln died as he lived, a great leader who loved his country.